Notice how everything has a label these days? It's like we just can't make mistakes anymore. We've got to diagnose everything. You talk too much? Oh, you're just on the spectrum. You get passed up for a promotion? Blame the patriarchy. Always bailing on your friends for no reason? Unhealthy childhood trauma. Overachieved and feel like you need to humble brag? Congrats, you've got imposter syndrome. It's funny, but kind of tragic. We've built a culture where it's easier to explain our flaws than to actually change them. We're taking our regular everyday quirks and reframing them into some kind of medical or moral identity. And it feels smart, even sometimes ego boosting, but really it's just another way of saying, hey, none of this is my fault. On the Upside Scoop, we break down the hidden habits and illusions that quietly determine whether you grow or you stay stuck. And today, we're talking about one of the biggest illusions of all, the I'm special syndrome. At the end of this video, you'll understand why labeling everything you do, every habit, every fear, every failure, might feel comforting, but it'll cost you in progress. The I'm special syndrome is a clever little lie. It says you're not lazy, you're neurodivergent, you're not inconsistent, you're just healing. You're not distracted, you're a misunderstood genius with executive dysfunctions. It's the ultimate get out of accountability free card. And although we always hear the first step to self-improvement is self-awareness, don't mistake I'm special syndrome with self-awareness. Because self-awareness helps you see the problem, but I'm special syndrome is the delusion that the problem makes you special. I hope that makes sense. So here's 5 ways the I'm special syndrome traps you and the solutions of how to escape these traps. Trap number 1. It feeds your ego while starving your progress. We've made self-awareness a form of self-worship. We analyze ourselves endlessly, hoping that if we just understand enough, change will follow automatically by osmosis. But it never does because analysis is deemed safe and action is not. Self-diagnoses give you the illusion of control, but none of the actual control that you really want. It turns personal growth into content, something to discuss and not to do. So here is how you break it. Every time you say, I'm just like that, add for now. That single phrase shifts identity into possibility. So don't obsess over why you are the way that you are. Test who else you could become. Trap number 2. It turns excuses into personality traits. Whenever shortcomings get a label, it becomes sacred. You can't fight it, and you resign and say, well, that's just how I'm wired. We've made accountability sound like cruelty, and fragility sound like depth. We glorify dysfunction through aesthetic. Burnout becomes a vibe. Overthinking becomes high-functioning anxiety, and self-sabotage becomes protecting my peace. We've turned coping into culture. So, how do you actually stop it? Well, try this. Replace "that's just who I am, I'm a victim" with "that's what I'm working on." When you claim ownership, your brain stops defending the flaw and starts solving it. And sadly, too many people really identify too strongly with their victimhood, and they tell themselves that this will control them and it'll dictate their reactions for the rest of their lives. Big mistake. The strongest people don't justify their weaknesses. They outgrow their excuses. Trap number 3. It makes awareness feel like achievement. We live in an age where scrolling through TikTok and nodding at a diagnosis, it feels like therapy. Every quirk, every bad day, every awkward moment gets reframed as a disorder or trauma pattern. It feels insightful, but it's empty calories for the mind. You don't need more insight. You need more reps, is what they say. And self-diagnosis can feel like control, but it often becomes a crutch. It lets you label the problem without actually confronting it. So how do you break free? Stop collecting explanations. Start collecting evidence. Instead of journaling about why you can't focus, test what happens if you work in 25-minute sprints. Change your data, not your diagnosis. Test, validate. Understanding is the map. Action is the travel. Trap number 4. It turns suffering into status. And this is a big one these days. Somewhere along the way, pain became a personality, like a battle scar to be proud of. You can't just say you're tired, you have to be burnt out. You can't say you're shy, you have to say you're socially anxious. You can't just be sad, you're depressed but high functioning. We've made pain a part of our identity because it's the fastest way to feel seen. I'm gonna say it one more time. We've made pain part of our identity because it's the fastest way to feel seen. And guess what? The algorithm even rewards it. Confession is content now. It's crazy how much dirty laundry people put out there just for clout, attentions, and comments. You can monetize your misery before you even fix it these days. But when pain becomes currency, healing feels like bankruptcy. So how do you break free? Keep the story, drop the spotlight. Heal privately, work quietly. The world doesn't need to witness your process. It needs to see your progress. Real healing doesn't trend, it transforms. Trap number 5, it replaces accountability with identity. And this is the most dangerous one because it changes your self-talk. I'm bad with money. I'm not creative. I have no discipline. Every I am hardwires a belief. Beliefs dictate behavior, and behavior is what builds your future. When you name your limitation, you give it power. So how do you break free? Turn identity into intention. I'm bad with money becomes I'm learning to manage my money. I'm inconsistent changes into I'm practicing consistency. I'm anxious? No, I'm training. I'm learning to remain calm. You can't outgrow what you keep identifying with. Remember that. So the truth, you're not special because of your struggles, because everybody struggles. You're special because you overcome them. Because on the flip side, some people just never grow up. But to do that, you have to stop treating every weakness like it's sacred. You don't need another label, you need momentum. You don't need validation. You need discipline. You don't need a diagnosis. You need direction. You need to erase your limiting beliefs with empowering actions. Like Michael Jordan said at the end of his Hall of Fame speech, never say never, because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. That's what the Upside Scoop is all about. Cutting through the illusions that hold you back. Stop naming your problems and start outgrowing them. And subscribe, and let's keep moving forward to the upside. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.